From TRICHOMES.com, I'm JC Kitamura, and this is Tech and Cannabis. I talk with game changers in the tech community to gain valuable insights into the future of the fast-paced cannabis industry. Today, we are joined by Steve Drucker of Agrify. Agrify has a goal of being the Apple in the grow industry. By utilizing sensors, cameras, and advanced software, they are able to collect over 1 million data points when growing the plant. We talk about his path of getting where he is today, how the art of growing is changing, and how the recent acquisitions will get them closer to their goal of being a fully integrated cannabis solution. All right, and today we have Steve Drucker with Agrify. Steve, thanks for coming on to the show.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right, so for, I guess, our audience that is not familiar with Agrify, just give us a quick overview about your company.
Yeah, sure. So our vision is to enable the highest quality, most consistent, data-driven hemp and cannabis production profitably at any scale by delivering complete end-to-end indoor grow solutions. So, my role as the software engineering manager and CIO is to really, emulate the approach of Apple Computer. We've really gone to great lengths to design and manufacture a really tightly coupled hardware and software solution. Several years ago, we introduced we call our vertical farming unit, or VFUs, which are really a miracle of engineering. They're fully enclosed, automated, stackable grow racks that have precise control over temperature, humidity, CO2, irrigation, and light intensity. While the VFU is really cool, the real jewel in our crown, of course, speaking as the software guy, is Agrify Insights, which is a cloud-based application for desktop, tablet, and mobile phones that uses data science and the scientific method to provide a way for facility owners, managers, growers to tightly manage a continuous improvement process and perform experiments that achieve consistent harvests with optimal outcomes.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, your guys' products are pretty revolutionary. I mean, when you're thinking about farming and growing, you're thinking crops and farms, but like you said, you're more like Apple, where it's almost like server farms that are like that are feeding data with the grow of the plants, which is totally next level. Now, just in curiosity, I know you're head of programming in that department. How did you kind of get about this position? What brought you to cannabis? How did you end up here?
What brought me to cannabis? It'll probably come as a little bit of surprise that I've never actually tried cannabis. Even still, I kind of grew up during the Nancy Reagan years of just say no. But I do have a lot of friends and very close friends actually who have been very successful in using cannabis for pain management and so forth. But what got me involved was it's kind of a classic case of it's not what you know, it's who you know. I graduated with a computer science degree from the University of Maryland, founded a very successful software company in 1992, which in hindsight, and rather comically, was named Fig Leaf Software. Our motto was, "We've got you covered." And for the next 25 years, I led a team that built many award-winning internet and intranet applications and authored a lot of books and did a lot of training internationally on how to create very large-scale web-based applications. So we successfly exited in 2018, sold off the business, and I was contacted by Matt Leota, who's a serial entrepreneur who I'd met actually 20 years ago when we were both delivering presentations to software meetups. Except back then it wasn't called a software meetup, it was just called a user group. And it turned out that with the advent of social media, we'd actually sort of been virtually stalking each other on Facebook for years, kind of following each other's, successes and failures as entrepreneurs are wont to do. And when I posted that I sold my company, he called me up, asked me if I was available, and, said, hey, are you interested in changing the future of cannabis growing at his latest company, which was named TriGrow Systems. Ultimately, TriGrow was purchased by Agrify, And I actually transitioned over to Agrify roughly 6 months prior to the close of that acquisition.
Yeah, that's incredible. So you've been in it a long time. You're talking about the big floppy disks you're talking about.
Yeah, large 8-inch floppy disks.
Yeah, the big ones.
Seen many crazy things, and when I the crazy things that I've seen and the evolution that I've seen in the hardware and software business is probably only eclipsed by the craziness that I saw of running my own company during the .com years and scaling from 2 people to 70 people and going from essentially 0 to $9-10 million in revenue over that period, and then watching it all sort of crash and burn and then come back and then go down. So as an entrepreneur, and business owner, I have let's say a very sympathetic relationship with the owners of cannabis grows and really the owners of any company. It is really, when you put yourself out on the line like that and you got to worry about payroll week in, week out, being CEO or a small business owner, that's a tough gig, man. It really is. So anything that I can do to kind of help these folks out is that's what I want to do.
Gotcha. Now, like I was mentioning before, the stuff you guys are doing are very next level. Especially, it's like a whole different world compared to what the typical grower that you kind of envision is used to. Has there been any kind of challenge as far as converting some of these grows to kind of use the technology, or do you think more the younger generation who's upcoming is more kind of attracted to something like this?
Yeah, I think initially we ran into some folks, particularly on the master grower set, who were very suspicious about
master growers,
what value we were bringing. In their minds, growing is much more of an art than a science, right. And exactly. That obviously runs somewhat counter to our philosophy, particularly my philosophy on the software side. But I think we've really been able to win them over by showing them that the software enables them to grow better and focus on the parts of the job that they really like, and automating the things like creating schedules and working with a zillion Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. We eliminate all of that. And we really, and to the extent that we can remove that burden, it frees them up to be able to go and design and run experiments. I mean, I think we are the only platform in the industry that actually embraces and encourages continuous improvement and experimentation. And that's because our VFUs are all self-contained. You can run an experiment. You could actually run a bake-off where maybe you create 10 different recipes that are varying the temperature, the humidity, the CO2, the light schedule, the light intensity, the plant feeding schedule. So you can modify all of these things, and our VFUs are going to automatically collect 1.5 million data points annually per VFU. And then we transparently go and grab the harvest yield numbers, and we download. We have a great relationship with Confident Cannabis and with Metric, where we download all of the lab testing information. So we get, we see all the terpene profiles, we see the cannabinoids, and then we can put all that data together and correlate the outcomes of the grow to the growing conditions. And I know that, one of the things I see on social media all the time are master growers posting pictures of these, fantastic looking plants. And right. Really kind of getting bragging rights to that and creating the best possible recipe. And so my pitch to them is wouldn't you like to use a system that allows you to scientifically grow the best possible outcome of cookies, or the best possible outcome for Seatown Lemon Haze, or any of these strains that are out there, and do it in a way that is really fun. I mean, the core mission of my software team is to use science, automation, and continuous innovation to make growing at scale fun and rewarding. Emphasis on the fun, and I don't know about you, but part of the fun to me is success, and that's what our system helps these growers out with, is helping assure success and really de-risking the outcomes from these very large grows.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, the amount of data points that your guys are gathering from the plant is pretty astonishing. That being said, do you think there's any kind of fear as far as some of these, master growers that have their secret sauce and their secret way of doing things now, programming it into a system? It has been any kind of pushback as far as people thinking that, hey, now, my secret sauce is revealed. Is that kind of
sure?
A thing sometimes?
So we've definitely heard that concern, and we've put a huge amount of time, effort, and engineering into ensuring that whatever data goes into the system is secure. It can only be viewed by the folks who are part of that grow, and whatever data is collected by our customers is the property of those customers, and whether they choose to share it or not is a decision that our customers can make. I sort of feel like as we onboard more and more customers, and you've probably seen some of the press releases lately, we've been pretty good at that recently, I really hope that an ecosystem develops where we kind of foster collaboration and experimentation between all the growers. So maybe grower A decides they're going to run Seatown Lemon Haze at 82 degrees and 55% humidity and a certain light level during a certain period, and grower B decides to maybe vary that by 1%, and grower C decides to vary that by another 1%. And then if they give us permission, we can pull all that data together and help them all make much better informed decisions about how they should modify their grow recipes and really achieve better outcomes.
Yeah, no, that sounds super fun, actually. I could just see, especially, if you're a nerd and like to crunch numbers, you want to be able to experiment with all the millions of possibilities that you can and see the different outcomes. That sounds pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty competitive guy, and I think most entrepreneurs are, and I think I've seen this also in a lot of the master growers. Look, if you want to be the master grower, we've got a great tool to help you get there really quick. And if you decide to collaborate with other master growers using our system and start sharing data, there are all kinds of really cool possibilities that are going to lead to improved yields. They're going to lead to improved, you can maybe target very specific cannabinoid expressions or very specific terpenes. It's really exciting for me to see how we can merge at the intersection of software development and data science and horticulture.
No, it makes sense. Especially right now, with cannabis mostly being kind of, either like a niche or small batch, or, almost like the craft industry, not super high, like big, large scale. When you get to large scale, consistency is key, right? So, I'm assuming systems like this would improve consistency like immensely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, when I talk to growers that are, growing traditionally in grow rooms, even if they're growing vertically in grow rooms, once you start putting sensors in those large grow rooms, you see huge differences and essentially the establishment of multiple microclimates all throughout the room. Our system essentially eliminates that. We have the VFUs with the software control have very tight control over the environment. In fact, we're typically within 1 degree Fahrenheit of the set point, within plus or minus 5% of the relative humidity that gets set. And we really do an amazing job on CO2. We've got a great algorithm that we've deployed that keeps us, within about 75 parts per million on the CO2 density in the units. So, we essentially eliminate all of that. And then, once you've got your recipe dialed in, you can then take that and apply that to as many VFUs as you want throughout your installation, and you're pretty much guaranteed that you're going to get almost exactly the same results. We've got data, customer data from many different grows that are showing just insane uniformity between growing multiple instances of the same strain. It's really quite a validation of our approach.
Wow. Now just a curious question. I come from a software background myself. I dabbled in a few projects that are hardware and software related. What's kind of the pain points? Because I know I had a lot of pain points when I was dealing with integrating hardware with software. And that's basically mostly what you guys are doing right now. How's that process been, and how's it looking for the future as far as dealing with things like that?
Yeah, sure. So for the most part, software and hardware teams are pretty much siloed off, right? And I think the biggest difficulty that you have is with communications between the teams. So I think, we've been extremely fortunate over here at Agrify that we just have a great team that loves to work together. I've got guys like my counterpart on the hardware side, JD Skinner, to Rob Harrison, who's our SVP of Manufacturing Operations, Bob Joyner, our Director of Engineering. I was just having a great conversation with him today. And even down the chain to our installers, Wes Wood, who's one of our systems engineers, guys on the horticulture team like Micah Gilbert, Danny Hyatt, who manages hardware support and does the installs and is kind of the lead for the support team, our electrical engineers, even the folks in purchasing like Steve Kalam. These are just great guys that I think are just awesome to work with, both professionally and personally. And, I think having a great relationship with your coworkers leads to great professional outcomes. Because when we get together, which is very frequently, both virtually and physically, we just love talking shop. I mean, during the day we talk shop, we go out for drinks, talk shop, hang out all the time. There's no sacred cows. And when you've got a culture of collaboration, communication, and trust, a lot of those technical and workflow challenges just sort of melt away. And it also helps when you have a great CEO who sets the tone for the entire operation.
That's cool. Speaking of the entire operation, I know, earlier we had Nick Tennant on, and then you guys just acquired, Precision Extraction.
We did.
And also the scientific company. Just by looking at the big picture, you guys more focused on the grow side. Now this looks like it's, you're going beyond that. What's the next steps for Agrify?
Yep. So I think our CEO, Raymond Chang, has been pretty upfront that we want to become a completely vertically integrated company. So we want to be able to acquire companies and grow through and grow the existing companies we have, so that we manage all parts of the process, and software is obviously a key part of that. I am just absolutely super excited about our recent acquisition of Cascade Sciences and Precision Extraction. And, the funny thing about Nick and some of the other folks I've talked to recently in the extraction business is you tend to hear a lot of comments like extraction is more art than science. And, it's like I'm having a flashback to when I got started in the cannabis industry, where kind of heard the same thing, that cannabis growers were all about saying, well, it's really more art than science. So, I'm really looking forward to proving these claims to be false, that extraction can and should be much more science than art by applying the same techniques to extraction that we've applied to indoor growing. We're actually going to start beta testing the first generation of our new extraction software before the end of this quarter. So it's coming real quick. So stay tuned.
No, that's exciting. That's a lot of work on your end. But yeah, it's really just art until like the most efficient blueprint has been released. Once
that's exactly right. It's all art until everything is documented and proceduralized and automated. Mm-hmm. And so that's that's really what we're going for. There will always be art. Art will always be a critical component to everything that everyone does. So I don't want to minimize that aspect of it and the creative aspect. But I do think that again, a lot of the current processes that folks are going through on the extraction side can and should be automated. And just like our motto is to make growing a lot more fun, we're going to do the same thing on the extraction side. We're going to go and eliminate all of the parts that these folks find to be unfun and allow them to really focus on the core things that get them excited, which is producing better products.
All right. Now, sounds like you have a lot on your plate. Are you still coding at all yourself, or are you mostly doing the architecture?
I am coding. I am doing the architecture. I'm also the CIO of the organization. So on the CIO side, I actually do much more of the architecture, and I've got a very competent team and an IT director who goes and is executing a lot of my vision for that at the corporate level. On the software side, I got a great team, and love working with those guys. One of them, Keenan Keeling. I actually, when I was back at Fig Leaf Software, I gave Keenan his first job out of college, and we've worked together on and off over 20 plus years. I got another guy who came over during the TriGrow years, Lad Angelis, who does our DevOps. He's fantastic. Caleb Beery. I mean, all the guys I have, there's not a single weak link in the bunch, and it's really just a joy to wake up every morning and go, yeah, I'm really pumped about working with these guys, and we're going to do some really cool things. Having said that, I think coding will always be part of my life at some level. Yep. I just like it too much. But I have been, kind of gradually pulling back and doing a lot more architecture and design and kind of handing that off because my portfolio has obviously been increasing over the years. So
exactly. Sometimes one of the toughest things for a programmer to do is hand it off. But it's awesome.
Yeah, programming has always been a not only my profession but also my hobby. So and also it's one of those things where when you only sleep 4 to 6 hours a night, all things are possible, right? So
that's the life. That's how it is.
Yeah, keeps me off the streets. So
all right. Well, I guess last question. Being the CIO, having access to so much data, you've seen the industry. What's kind of just based on what you know today, where do you think cannabis is going in the next 6 to 12 months?
Sure. I think I think everyone is sort of getting on board with what Agrify has known for years, that having data just by itself doesn't really do you much good. The data actually has to be actionable. And that's why, from the beginning, we made great efforts to marry a hardware solution to a software solution. Because without being able to make real-time decisions based on the telemetry that you're getting back from the units, the data really doesn't help you out that much. So, what we're seeing is, to maybe paraphrase something in bad taste, every plant matters. One of the things that I've kind of noticed is, even if a single plant dies in a grow room, that's a significant loss to an operation. You're talking about many hundreds of dollars at current rates. So, what we're really shooting for over the course of the next year is much more kind of going all in on sensors. So we're monitoring recently at MJ BizCon. We did a demo of a new VFU system that we have coming out next year that's loaded up with cameras. So we're going to be using cameras to tie into machine learning and automated image analysis to be able to, alert folks that there's a problem with the plant before it's even visible to the naked eye. We also showed and demonstrated crop steering using soil moistures and putting EC sensors in every pot. So I think that's kind of a big deal. Right now there are systems that are out there that maybe they're because they're very expensive. You might only be able to put one sensor for every 100 plants or more, and then hope that sensor is acting as a proxy for everything else that's going on. But our goal over the course of the next year is to actually put a sensor in every single pot. And so even if a single plant is in distress, we want to be able to send out an alert to folks and have them run over to that and find out what the problem is. Could be a clogged emitter, could be a underlying problem with the infrastructure of the facility. But I want every plant to be a success and sort of be all that it can be. But what we're really striving for is really putting a lot of brains in the box, creating a system that helps growers make the best possible decisions while automating the paperwork around scheduling, compliancy, and so forth to really keep this is right back to our mission statement, right? We want to make growing fun and profitable.
That's awesome. Well, I want to thank you for your time. That was a really informational talk that we had. I actually learned a lot about you guys. The best way for somebody to get a hold of Agrify, if they're interested in learning more or interested in utilizing your service, where should they go?
Yeah, definitely go to www.agrify.com, Agrify, and we've got significant social media presence on Facebook and on LinkedIn, and you could always email me. My address is steve.drucker, Drucker at agrify.com, and love to hear from folks. A lot of our software, big reason for its success is that, we basically just ask our customers what they want, and then we deliver it to them really quickly. And, I'd say we probably, in the last year, we've actually implemented, I'd say 98% of the customer feedback that we've gotten. So, love to talk to folks about what they're doing. And when we give demos to folks, they go, wow, that's, these are like, I can't believe you thought of all these things. And it's like, well, we didn't really think of all those things. We just talked to everybody and asked them what they wanted, and then we gave it to them in a way that's easy for them to consume and manage. So that's what software is all about and what it's supposed to be about.
It's incredible stuff. Well, from one coder to another, get some sleep. And thanks for coming on.
All right, thanks.
All right. Once again, I want to thank Steve Drucker with Agrify for coming on to the show. And for all your cannabis news and for other podcasts like this one, visit us at www.trichomes.com. If you want to reach out to the show, you can email us at techandcannabis@trichomes.com. I'm Jason Keaton-Murrah. Thanks for joining us.